Welcome to the Holy Spirit Healing Ministry website. My name is Lori Pacer, and in this video I'd like to give you an overview of my healing journey and how I came to develop the Holy Spirit Healing Prayer Method. Now, my healing journey is being completely healed of fibromyalgia, which may not be your story, but the Holy Spirit Healing Prayer Method can be effective on a variety of diseases and disorders. Anything from high blood pressure and migraine headaches to things like anxiety and depression, or it can just even deepen your relationship with God and the Holy Spirit and bring to life more the fruits of the Holy Spirit in your life. So let me start with my healing journey. I was really healthy and active up until I was about 30 years old. I had no real health issues. Then when I was 30 years old, about once a month, I began to experience the flu. So that's the best way to describe it, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I think most of us have had the flu. So I would get body aches all over. My head would just swim, and I couldn't get out of bed. Or just thinking about it was so hard. Some days I could push through, some days I couldn't. I just had to hit the snooze button. I also had fatigue, like where you want to sleep all day. So initially, this was just happening about once a month. And it would pass in a day. I'd get back to my life, and I would just kind of hope that wouldn't happen again. Kind of like we all do when we get the flu. But it kept happening. And it became more and more frequent, and the symptoms began to last longer. And by the end of my 18-year journey, I was nearly bedridden. I was in pain of some sort all day, every day, mostly in my neck and shoulders and lower back. I also had what's called brain fog. I couldn't focus on things. My memory was horrible. And I also was so fatigued all the time. I was so tired. I literally could sleep all day, every day. Now, most days I couldn't because I wanted to do something with my life. But by the end of 18 years, I was pretty hopeless and helpless. I really couldn't help myself or anybody else at this point in my life. So after about 3 years of my symptoms, I did seek the help of medical doctors. I went to a variety of doctors, from OBGYNs, endocrinologists, rheumatologists, a team of doctors at a medical school, anybody and everybody I could think of. They would poke and prod and do blood work, etc., but really nobody could come up with anything that helped me. And they would just kind of shrug their shoulders and say, "I'm sorry, I don't know what's causing this fatigue and pain." I would regroup, go to the next doctor. Each time it was kind of an emotional roller coaster ride. I was hoping that the next doctor would have the cure. Well, at the end of about 14 years, I had a hysterectomy. A gynecologist thought that might help with my situation. Unfortunately, it did not. It worsened my lower back pain. My fatigue was worse than ever. And I was feeling really pretty despairing at this point. But I regrouped, and I decided to to go down the path of alternative medicine. So I went to see chiropractors, naturopaths. I took the supplements they recommended. I did physical therapy. I did acupuncture, acupressure. I had massages. I had hydrocolonic therapy. I don't know if any of you have had that wonderful treatment. If you haven't, it's not something I would seek out, but it just shows that I was willing to do anything to get my health back. So I had given up again after doing alternative methods for about 4 years, and at this point I'd probably spent about $60,000 seeking different treatments. I now at this point realized I had fibromyalgia. It sounds silly now, but back when I started my journey, fibromyalgia was not a household word. There had been no pharmaceuticals to treat it. so there were no advertisements for it. And their doctors didn't recognize it as a disease that they could treat. So, but I did, somewhere about 14 years into my journey, realize that what I had was this disease called fibromyalgia. And I began to do my own research in the library on fibromyalgia. And this is when I came across something called mind-body medicine. And a lot of the research was done at Harvard Medical School by a Dr. Herbert Benson. He treated fibromyalgia with mind-body medicine, which is basically teaching the mind how to relax and give it a chance to heal itself. So he pioneered what's called the relaxation response, and this is an offset to the stress response or the fight or flight response. And by initiating the relaxation response, the body can heal. So it was incredible. I couldn't believe the healing power of my own mind, but it made sense because I realized that this is how God designed us. He wants our bodies to heal, and He's given our minds the power to do that. We just have to give it some help and not be completely stressing it out over time, all the time. So, but besides initiating the mind-body, the relaxation response, I wanted to incorporate what was important to me, my soul and spirit, into this. So I took the two, what I'd learned about healing prayer through my years of doing retreat work at different parishes throughout the country, with what I was now learning about the mind-body work. So for the first time, I feel like I was one and whole in my healing process, and that I was addressing everything from a mind, body, soul, and spirit point of view. And that's where the Holy Spirit healing prayer method came, a way of initiating the relaxation response, but by also engaging the Holy Spirit and your own spirit so that you can experience healing. It's been my pleasure to share this method with people throughout the country and to work one-on-one with people to help them address their particular healing issues and to see God work in their lives to bring about healing, not only of the body, but of the soul and spirit as well. So please check out the rest of the website, click on the prayer reflections, and feel free to contact me. I would love to share with you my experience and to guide you on your healing journey.